Black women warned you, not loudly, not hysterically, not for attention. We warned you clearly. We said, if we're not safe, no one is. You rolled your eyes. You called us dramatic. You told us to calm down. You told us we were making everything about race. And now a woman is dead following an ICE operation in Minnesota. And suddenly, people are listening. Let me be very clear about something. Black women did not say this would only hurt us. We didn't say this was symbolic. We didn't say this was theoretical. What we said was structural. We said that when government power becomes cruel, it does not stay targeted. We said that when due process erodes for the least protected, it erodes for everyone. We said that when the state becomes comfortable disappearing people, detaining people, treating human beings like paperwork, it never stops where it starts. That wasn't emotion. That was history. And history always shows its work. A lot of people made a calculation. I don't like him, but it won't affect me. I'm a citizen. I'm not undocumented. I'm not poor. I'm not black. That logic assumes the system checks ID before it checks power. It doesn't. Power checks obedience. Power checks silence. Power checks who people will defend. And this is the part people really don't want to name. Fear isn't a side effect. Fear is the point. The goal is not just enforcement. The goal is not just removal. The goal is submission. To make people too scared to speak, too scared to protest, too scared to help each other, too scared to ask questions. When the state shows it can act with force and without consequence, it is sending a message. This can happen to you. And terror doesn't discriminate the way people think it does. It spreads outward. It escalates. It requires new examples to stay effective. ICE didn't suddenly become dangerous. Police brutality didn't suddenly expand. Authoritarian behavior didn't suddenly appear. It was allowed to grow, because the earliest victims were easy to ignore. Now let's talk about Minnesota. A woman is dead following an ICE operation. Reports indicate she was white, and before anyone jumps to technicalities, or legal defenses, or wait for the investigation, sit with that, because the argument was always, this won't happen to us. But the warning was always, systems that don't protect black women will not protect anyone. Not your citizenship, not your skin color, not your proximity to power. When enforcement becomes reckless, when fear becomes policy, when accountability disappears, more people get hurt. And yes, that includes white people. This isn't because anyone wants that. It's because terror requires constant reinforcement. It needs new bodies to prove it's real. This isn't irony. It's inevitability. Black women have always been the early warning system in this country. We see policy before it hits the headlines. We feel systems strain before they collapse. We live at the intersection of race, gender, labor, caregiving, and state control. So when black women say, something is wrong, that is not hysteria, that is data. When we say, this will spread, that is not fear-mongering. That is pattern recognition. And when we say, if we're not safe, no one is, that is not a threat. That is a diagnosis. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Some people only care when harm reaches someone who looks like them. But by the time that happens, the system is already out of control. This isn't about celebrating tragedy. This isn't about I told you so. This is about acknowledging reality. You were warned. The warning was dismissed. And now the cost is higher. For everyone. So ask yourself, who did you ignore when they spoke? Who did you decide was acceptable collateral? What protections did you assume would magically apply to you? Because safety, that depends on other people being disposable. It's a delay, and black women tried to tell you, This has been another episode of Are You Fucking Kidding Me? I'm Victoria Sharp. Follow me everywhere.